On May 16, 1986, Paramount Pictures released a film directed by Tony Scott and starring Tom Cruise. Its purpose was to entertain a mass audience and ensure a profit would be made from their great efforts. They somewhat succeeded. The film was very successful at the box office and won an Academy Award for Best Original Song with Take My Breath Away. As far as critical reception goes, some people liked it, others did not. Today, the film has a cult following, maintaining its popularity over the years. No matter what anyone thought of the film, critics and audiences call it Top Gun. In this film, Tom Cruise and Anthony Edwards play as Lieutenants Pete Mitchell and Nick Bradshaw, also known as Maverick and Goose. They have been enlisted in the U.S. Navy's Fighter Weapons School to rank among the best fighter pilots in the world by the time they graduate.
I gotta give you your dream shot. I'm gonna send you up against the best. You two characters are going to Top Gun.
The top student there at the moment is Lieutenant Tom Kazansky, also known as Iceman, played by Val Kilmer, and he and Maverick form a rivalry when they first meet.
You figured it out yet?
What's that?
Who's the best pilot?
No, I think I can figure that one out on my own.
I heard that about you. You like to work alone.
Furthermore, Maverick even begins a secret relationship with one of the instructors, Charlotte Blackwood, played by Kelly McGillis. Yeah, this is a pretty big plot upon which to structure a feature film. Story problems? Well, the romance between Maverick and Charlie are just a subplot in the grand scheme of things. While not terribly done, it doesn't have any real impact on the story. I would suggest cutting them out or reducing them a bit, but like I said, the film won the Academy Award for Best Original Song with Take My Breath Away. It's a really good song, I'll give it that. But is it really worth watching the film's romantic sequences just to hear the song? Actually, as derivative from the plot as these romance scenes are, it kinda is. Another issue I have with the story is how slow it can feel at times. It's not just the romance scenes between Maverick and Charlie that are culprits in this. Actually, it does get pretty slow during the film's climax. It is pretty cool to see how well done the aerial stunts and effects were as early as 1986, but it still looks pretty impressive to this day. But the climax takes a while to pass. If you're not a big fan of long scenes, you're likely going to have a rough time getting through the climax of this film without feeling a little bit tired. It's cool to look at, but it's a bit long. I know it sounds like I'm crapping all over this movie, but I'm not. It's perfectly watchable even with its flaws, so I may as well go over its positives. When the main storyline is the actual focus, it's actually pretty well structured. The characters are well established, and their motivations are pretty clear. It's especially great to see the rivalry shared between Maverick and Iceman.
I don't like you because you're dangerous.
That's right. Ice, man. I am dangerous.
Maverick is of course just as entertaining by himself, starring as the arrogant hotshot who would go outside the rules at times, though the film pretty clearly establishes that his scholarship at Top Gun is at stake as a result of his recklessness.
Two of your snot-nosed jockeys did a flyby on my tower at over 400 knots. I want somebody's butt, I want it now, I've had it!
If we're talking Top Gun, you should bring up the soundtrack. I already mentioned how the film won Best Original Song for Take My Breath Away, but there's plenty other good ones in the soundtrack. Kenny Loggins performed 2 tracks, Danger Zone and Playing with the Boys.
Come on, man, 47, now we can get them. You guys are animals.
Of course, there's the Top Gun anthem, which is one of the coolest sounding theme songs for any film.
Excuse me, something I should know about?
The regular score by Harold Faltermeyer is great too. It's got that 80s rock style vibe to it that, to me, doesn't get old. There's a serious problem with me if I'm that attached to 80s related media. In any case, Top Gun is by no means a gem. I know for a fact that there are some out there who disagree with that statement, but I just think there's quite a bit that needs to be tweaked, particularly the story and pacing. That would make for a better experience. I can most certainly give it praise for its effects and aerial stunts. That was great for its time. The obvious reason I'm reviewing this film was for the upcoming sequel, Top Gun Maverick. You have any idea how often that film was delayed? It started when it was supposed to release in summer 2019, but they wanted to allow the production to work out all the complex flight sequences, so it was delayed to summer 2020. Then, of course, it got delayed time and time again due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and finally, the date was settled for May 27th, 2022, which is around Memorial Day weekend. That's coming up pretty soon. For the moment, the first Top Gun is, at worst, only serviceable and nothing special, but at best, a decent watch. We can only hope the sequel will be a worthy successor.